deduction that is called the amount contributed to outsiders for scientific research. You will get a reduction of rate of 150%. Okay, then whenever your contribution made donation given to approved institutions or approved college or university for the use of research in social sciences and statistics. Now, this is the physical science research, chemistry, and this is social science research and statistical research. You study statistics now. If you contribute an amount to a college, to a university, or approved institution, the deduction allowed is 100%. Suppose contributed 10,000, 10,000 is allowed as deduction. But if you amount is contributed to those physical science or physical lab research or any scientific research institutions, you will get, if you contribute 10,000, you'll get 15,000 as deductions. Similarly, if you contribute any amount to national laboratory, you will get a deduction of 150%. That means seen. If you contribute 10,000, you will get 15,000 as deduction from business income. This is what the contribution outside is for scientific research. So we are going to cover a lot of things in this chapter: income from business and income from profession. We cover next deduction, next business expenditure. Now, intangible assets. As you know, intangible assets, it consists of goodwill, copyright, patent, know-how. Okay, if patent, copyrights, or know-how, or any other intangible assets are purchased, except goodwill, purchased after 1/4/1999, you can claim depreciation at the rate of 25%. That means the 25% depreciation can be deducted from the business income. So, and further, no deduction is allowed. Okay, except goodwill, depreciation is given for other intangible assets. On goodwill, no depreciation is allowed. And that too, when you purchase these intangible assets after 1/4/1998. If you purchase before 1/4/1998, no depreciation is allowed. That means this is in case of intangible assets. Okay, these are the business expenses which can be allowed as deduction from the business income. Next, legal expenses. Now, there are different types of legal expenses. First is legal expenses incurred in protecting the business. Okay, you incurred court charges, lawyer fees to protect your business. Is first type. The second type, legal expenses for making agreements. You might incur some expenses for making agreements with other party. Third type, legal charges for obtaining loans. If you wanted to get a loan, again you have to pay legal expenses to the banks. Next type, amount spent for nationalizing SSC business. Government will take your business or government nationalize your business and you fought against the government. You incurred some legal expenses. That is the fourth type. Fifth type, legal expenses to protect the assets. You want to protect your property, business property. For that, you incurred some legal expenses. Next, legal expenses in defending breach of contract. If there is any breach of contract, you want to defend that contract, that breach. You incurred some legal expenses. Next, legal expenses for protecting sources of income. You're getting some income, but somehow it has been litigations. Now you want to file a case, you incur some expenses. These legal expenses are allowed as deduction. All these expenses 1 to 7 will be allowed as deduction. But there are other legal expenses which are incurred to protect the defective title of asset. You are defending your property which is defective. Title is not clear. You're defending that in the court of law. And we have incurred some legal charges. For that, you will not get any deductions, not allowed as deduction. Similarly, legal expenses incurred in defending breach of law. You committed any breach of law or you went against the public policy. Okay, in that case also, it is not allowed as deductions. The last two, will be not allowed as deduction. The first seven will be allowed as deduction. These are the different types of legal expenses you will come across while from business point of view or from profession point of view. Okay, whatever we are studying, those are the business expenses which can be deducted from the business income, from the income of the business. Now, next, we have another third, next point, security transaction tax. When you buy and sell securities, you have to pay tax, STT, security transaction tax. We studied in capital gain, long term capital gain, short term capital gain. Okay, but when you're dealer in securities, when you're dealer in securities or you're a broker, that will be allowed as deduction. That be allowed as deduction. If you're not a broker, if you're normal business people, that is not allowed as deduction. It is allowed as deduction provided the income is included in the income from business or profession. Okay, whenever you are trading in securities, trading in stock markets, you will get some income. That income, if it is included in the business income, this tax, that is security transaction tax, can be allowed as deduction. If that income is not included in the business income, that deduction is not allowed. Security transaction tax deduction is not allowed. Okay. When it is allowed, when the income from securities is included in business income. So you earn, to earn income, you incur some expenses. That is allowed. To earn income, you incur some expenses. That expenses is allowed. Next, fourth one. Deposit made under Own Your Telephone scheme. This is a BSNL scheme launched 20 years back. You have to make a deposit for telephone scheme 20 to 40 years back. Now it is allowed as deduction, but if the telephone is not installed or deposit is returned, then the earlier deduction allowed is treated as business income. Suppose you have made a deposit under Own Your Telephone scheme and they not installed your telephone. They have refunded your deposit. So that will be treated as business income. That is considered as a business income. Okay, that is should be treated as business income. If it is telephone is installed, that is allowed as business expenditure or that is allowed as deduction. This is the deposit made under Own Your Telephone scheme. Fifth one, expenses incurred on the occasion of Diwali. It is allowed a deduction subject to decision of the income tax officer. You cannot say incurred 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees expenses on the Diwali. He will check it. The income tax officer will check your details for what purpose you incurred on the occasion of Diwali. Generally, it is allowed as deduction, but that is subject to income tax officer decision. Now, next, subscriptions to trade or professional associations, that is allowed as deduction. You are making some payment to a trade association or professional association, that is allowed as deductions. Next, security deposit telex connection, that is allowed as telex is fax. You used to have fax in olden days, 30 years back. Okay, for that you have to make a deposit. That is allowed as deduction. Next, lawful expenses of illegal business is allowed as deduction. Make a note. Lawful expenses of illegal business is allowed as deduction. Okay. But if the payments are prohibited under any law like bribes, it is not allowed for deduction. If you are making a bribe, if you are making payment of bribe, you cannot say that, you cannot claim the expenditure as I made a bribe, I made a payment of bribe. Okay. But any lawful expenses of your any illegal business, that is allowed as deduction, but not the bribes, but not the payments which are prohibited under any law, Okay. Next, ninth one, tournament audit fees, tournament expenses, audit fees, and expenditure on holiday home is allowed as deduction. These are incurred, tournament expenses are incurred on the behalf of employees, audit fees is paid to the chartered accountant, expenditure on holiday home is on behalf of employees, it is allowed as deduction. Next, 10th one, presentation of gifts, articles to promote business sales is allowed as deductions. Suppose you're presenting any gifts to the customers or articles to promote your business sales, that is allowed as deductions, not for personal purpose, not for personal purpose. Next, entertainment expenditure is allowed as deductions. Okay, that expenditure if it is incurred for business purpose or for the employees, that is allowed as deduction. 12th one, advertisement expenditure if spent for business purpose, that too if it is a revenue expenditure will be allowed as deduction. Capital expenditure is not allowed for deduction. You know what is revenue and capital? Revenue expenditure where we incur every day or every month. Capital we incur once in a year or once in 5 years. Okay, you have to differentiate what is revenue, what is capital. Revenue every time, capital once in a time. So any revenue expenditure in case of ads, making ads, giving ads in newspapers or in YouTube, that is allowed as deductions. Okay, only revenue expenditure, not capital expenditure. You will mention the problem whether it's a revenue or capital. Nothing is mentioned. You have to assume as revenue expenditure. Next, 13th one. Traveling expenses is allowed as deduction. Okay, when you incur traveling expenses, that too from for business only, not personal. If it is personal, that is not allowed as deduction. Only for business or only for employees, that is allowed as deduction. Next, contribution given to association for rural development is allowed as deduction and which is approved by the government. Any association formed for rural development and which is approved by the government, you have contributed some amount to that association, that is allowed as deduction. Next, contribution to an association which undertakes the program of conservation of natural resources will be allowed as deduction, and that too will be approved by the government. Okay, if you make any donation to an association which take the program of conservation of natural resources, that is allowed as deduction. Next, deduction on account of dead or useless animals. Okay, suppose you want to dispose of useless animals or dead animals, the expenses incurred is allowed as deductions. Next, professional tax will be allowed as deductions. If you are paying any professional tax, that is allowed as deductions. 18th one, payments made under profit sharing scheme to employees will be allowed as deduction. Suppose there may be agreement between the employer and employee that on a particular amount of profit the business earned, they will share it equally or in some ratio. Whatever money payment made to the employees on the basis of profit sharing scheme, that is allowed as deduction. Next, premium paid on loss of profit policies will be allowed as deductions. There are so many premium, so many policies types are there. Loss of profit. Suppose in particular year you incurred some loss, you can insure that loss also with the insurance company. So whatever premium paid on that loss of profit policies will be allowed as deduction. 20th one. We have a lot of expenditure which we should discuss it one by one. 28th one. Any sum paid to an university, IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, or National Laboratory for carrying programs of scientific research will be given a reduction 150. I think it's studied repeated once again. You can get a reduction of 150% if you make contribution to an university, IIT, or national laboratory for which they are conducting scientific research will be given a reduction of 150%. Next, expenditure incurred of guest house. You have a guest house for every business. Any expenses incurred on the guest house will be allowed as deduction. Next, expenditure for obtaining license to operate telecommunication services is allowed as deduction only for revenue expenditure. There are some telecom companies are there. They need to pay for license to getting a license every year or renew the license every year. For that, they'll get deductions only for revenue expenditure, not for capital expenditure. Now, expenditure for training apprentices. That means after finishing your college or in BCom final year, you will get some training provided by some companies, and for that the company has to incur some expenses. They need to give stipend to the students in BCom final year. Some are training in our college for some Amazon and different types of companies. They need to give it stipend, the expenditure that is allowed as deduction. Next, commodity transaction tax is allowed as deduction if the income is included in the income from business profession. Same like STT, security transaction. Commodity, in case of you're trading in gold, silver, and other metals, okay, if you incur some tax, you pay tax, commodity transaction tax, CTT, that is allowed a deduction only in the income from that transaction is included in business income. Well, if the income is included only, you can get a deduction. Now, next point, preliminary expenses. What is it? Preliminary expenses. Expenses incurred before the formation of company is called the preliminary expenses. There are two steps are there. First step, you have to calculate qualifying amount, which is the least of the two. First, you have to take actual expenditure. First, you have to take actual expenditure. Second, you have to take 5% of cost of project. You're giving in the problem. Actual expenditure is this much. Cost of project is this much. Whichever is the least is called the qualifying amount. Of the qualifying amount, you have to calculate 20% of qualifying amount allowed as deduction, again, which is allowed in 5 equal installments, not in one go. Okay. Suppose you get actual expenditure is 10,000 rupees. 5% of cost of project is 2,000 rupees. Whichever is least, 2,000. Again, on 2,000, you have to calculate 20%, 400. Then 400 will be divided in 5 equal installments, 80 rupees. That 80 rupees you can claim as deduction. This is how to calculate in case of preliminary expenses. Okay, actual expenditure or 5% cost of project, whichever is least, that is called qualifying amount. On qualifying amount, calculate 20%. Okay, on that value divided by 5, so you will get some amount. That amount is allowed as deduction every year till 5 years. This is in course of preliminary expenses. Expenses incurred before the formation of company is called preliminary expenses. Next, payment under VRS, voluntary retirement scheme. It is allowed a deduction, but it is allowed in 5 equal installments. Okay, you made some payment on employee. Employee is retiring before 60 years of age. You made some payment. Suppose you made 5 lakh rupees payment to that employee. You divide the 5 lakh in 5 equal installments, 1 lakh. So 1 lakh this year will be allowed as deduction. So every year till 5 years, 1 lakh will be allowed as deduction. So that is the process of deductions under payment under VRS scheme, voluntary retirement scheme. Then the following expenses losses are not allowed a deduction. The previously we studied which is allowed, but here it is not allowed for deduction. What are those? First one, provision for doubtful debts. You know what is doubtful debts? That means expected loss or estimated loss. That is not allowed. Provision for taxes. Again, estimated taxes. You are estimating in future for the taxes, total tax amount. It is not allowed. Personal taxes like income tax, gift tax, not allowed. Okay. Expenses not relating to business, not allowed. Personal expenses, not allowed. And interest payable on amount borrowed from outside India, not allowed. Okay. You are taking a loan, you borrowed the amount from outside India, you're paying interest, that is not allowed. Capital losses also not allowed. Fines and penalties, I told you that deductions is not allowed. And last one, notional payments like interest or capital or salary paid to the owner is also not allowed. These are the expenses or losses which cannot be allowed as deductions in computing income from business or income from profession. Okay. Last very important thing, very important. Now, according to income tax rules, when you're making any payments, like you're purchasing any goods, making payment any expenses. If the amount exceeds 10,000 in a single transaction, if the amount exceeds 10,000 in a single transaction, that payment has to be made compulsory by account paychecks or bank draft or through any other electronic mode as may be prescribed. according to income tax rules, any payment for revenue expenses like purchase of goods or payment of a particular expenditure, any revenue payments exceeding 10,000 rupees in a single transaction has to be made through account pay checks or bank draft. Remember, only through account pay checks or bank draft or through any other electronic mode or online transactions or virtual transactions or payment by debit card or credit card. If it is not made, if you are making payment by cash, if the amount is more than 10,000 rupees, that entire amount is not allowed as deduction. The entire amount is not allowed as deduction. Okay. Now, according to the income tax rules, payment for revenue expenses exceeding 10,000 for each single transactions has to be made through the account pay checks, bank draft, or through any other electronic made as need. Okay. It is there. It is have to follow that rule. Okay. Then, what are the conditions here? Okay, suppose you want to buy a land for business purpose. You need to pay in cash only. Land will be in crores or lakhs. We need to pay in cash only. So what to do? What are the exemptions given from this rule? So we'll study next document. Now, this is next document. If the payment for revenue expenses exceeding 10,000 is paid in cash or through bearer check, even if it pay through bearer check, then the entire amount is not allowed as deduction. For example, if you're making payment for purchase of goods and payment of some expenses. Okay. Now, this keep in mind while doing problem from income from business. In case of in case of payment for applying, hiring, or leasing goods carriage, that is carriage inward or freight inward or carriage or freight outward, the ceiling amount is 35,000. Okay. If you are making payment for transporting goods inward or outward, maximum you pay in cash till 35,000. If it exceeds 35,000, you have to pay by account pay check or demand draft only, bank draft only. For goods transport, it is 35,000. For normal payment, it is 10,000. Limit is 10,000. Okay. If it is below 35,000, in case of goods transport, you can pay in cash. Above 35,000, you have to pay by account pay checks only and demand draft only. If it is normal expenses, normal payment, below 10,000, you can pay in cash. Above 10,000, you have to pay by account pay checks and or bank draft or demand draft only. Okay, this is the thing you need to remember by calculating income from business or income from profession. Now, there are some exemptions given to this rule. The above rule does not apply. The above rule does not apply for payment of capital expenses like purchase of asset or payment of loan. Suppose you buy any property, this rule will not apply. Suppose you are making any payment of loan, this rule will not apply. Also, this rule will not apply if the payment is made to the banks, LIC, government corporations, or to a cultivator for purchase of agricultural produce, or the bank is closed due to strike or holiday. Okay, if you're making payment above cash, about 10,000 rupees cash, or 35 above, which whatever the case may be, to the banks, to LIC, to government corporation, to a farmer to buy his product. Or suppose the bank is closed, or bank is on strike, or bank is on holiday, you can make this rule will not apply. That means you can pay in cash about 10,000 or about 35,000, whatever the case may be. Okay, if there is a bank is closed due to strike or holiday. Similarly, if the payment is made on the retirement of employee, of your employee, okay, and to legal heirs of the employee, you can pay till 50,000. If the total payment is not done, the 50,000 in cash. More than 50,000, you have to pay by check. These are the exception to payment exceeding 10,000 or 35,000, whatever the case may be. Okay. So this you have to keep in the main. So further we have procedure format, how to calculate income from business and income from profession. Okay, so we'll do one more thing. So one more Word document is there. All this will posted in the Moodle. Also, there are some other exemptions are given, as I discussed with you. If the SSC has paid the cash in exceeding 10,000 or 35,000, in case of 35,000, in case of transport charges above 35,000, this is a 10,000 normal expenses. If you're paying either through debit card, credit card, or through mail or telegraphic transfer, or through letter of credit through the bank, or through adjustment of one bank to another bank, or using electronic system, or through bill of exchange, this rule is not applicable. Okay, the above rule is not applicable. All these are exemptions given to payment exceeding 10,000 or 30,000, whatever the case may be. Suppose in some cases what happens when a deduction of expenditure claim, you claim some expenditure last year, before the previous year, in 1 year, but next year you made payment in cash in subsequent year. What happens? Whatever the deduction you claim earlier, now you have to that will be considered as a business income. They consider as a income in the year in which the payment is made. Okay, when a deduction of expenditure is claimed in 1 year and the payment is made subsequent year, then the deductions allowed earlier shall be treated as income in the year in which payment is made. That means if you violate that rule, that is considered as a income where you have to pay the tax. Okay, so these are the things you have to study. Now in the problem, they'll give you P&L account, profit and loss account. I show you. I'll explain you one procedure in the format. So don't get panic while practicing problems. Will come to know, but practice every day. Otherwise, you forget it.